Welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I'm not allowed to go to Vegas alone. This is my rule. No one imposed this on me. I've had a trip or two to Las Vegas alone, and I cannot be trusted in Las Vegas. I can't be trusted any place that gambling is legalized. This is because I am a compulsive gambler. There might be a couple of other reasons too, but I'm a compulsive gambler. I have spent a lot of time studying the mechanisms of my compulsion. It's not that there is something in me that is working differently than a casino or other gambling establishment would want it to work. It's that their techniques for developing a tendency towards gambling work far too well on me. Gambling is a fascinating subject. It is a interesting topic, and the same things that make a casino a successful business establishment, 99 times out of 100, can make for a good game mechanic or an interesting marketing ploy in game design. There is a tendency to miscalculate odds. There is a tendency to believe that there is some kind of karmic bell curve, so that, yes, I just lost a lot of money, but how long can I keep losing? Eventually, the odds say I have to win just once, right? So if I just keep gambling, I can win. And so since I've lost a lot, if I gamble with a larger amount, I can make it all back plus some and at least be even, or just a little bit ahead. That starts a slippery slope, because the odds are not a nice, even, easily calculable bell curve. The odds are monstrously low. The only games at a casino that you can play where you are not betting against the house are horse bet or horse track racing and poker, where you are playing against other players and the casino is merely providing you with a dealer. In every other case, the odds are so arranged such that the casino is going to win the vast majority of the time. There is a belief that if you walk in and gamble enough, eventually you will win. This belief is the core of why gambling addiction is so dangerous, because that belief is false. But that tendency to want to, I spent this and I got not what I wanted out of it, I did not win. I did not see my money back. So if I keep going and perhaps go bigger as I go along, I will eventually balance out. That mechanic is somewhat universal. It doesn't matter whether you're playing a collectible card game or a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. You run into that mechanic, it is going to effectively bring people in, most often as a way to get their money away from them. There is a point when you can watch a compulsive gambler lose their limitations. They may have been holding back or being conservative, but they lose and they lose and they lose, and then they do what is called going bingo. They go bingo and start to throw larger and larger amounts on the table until they have less than nothing left, perhaps have gone into debt. That is why I have to put in a larger amount so I make back everything I lost. I lost that. I have to put in a larger amount so I make back that loss that I just made and everything else I'd lost, trying to make it all back in one win, because you're only going to get that one win. But once you get that win, you're in. I have seen people go bingo at the table. I have gone bingo many times myself. That's why I can't go to Vegas anymore. I have gone bingo in things other than straight up gambling. Uh, I never got into collectible card games. I have seen people go bingo buying their cards because you're not sure what's in that booster pack, but it might be something really good. Oh gosh, it wasn't good in this one. I'm going to buy a box of booster packs and then I'm sure to get something absolutely fabulous in that. I did, however, play HeroClix for a while. I got attracted to the HeroClix because you had the Marvel and the DCs, and the Marvel HeroClix really attracted me because I was big into Marvel Comics, especially at the time. I spent $2,000 on HeroClix. Had a nice box for it because I was going to get those pieces that were going to let me win. I was going to have more advantages. I was going to, and then, someone who was not a good competitor decided to rub my nose in how bad I was at wargaming, and I sold the entire collection on eBay for something like $25. Just to get it out of my house. The European Union has started looking into, well, and several Scandinavian countries have looked at the practice of online games offering loot boxes. Yeah, throw actual money at a online game, and they give you a loot box, and it might have something great in it, and it might have a new color scheme for your gun. But the next one might have something great in it. Why don't you buy another one? I've done that a little bit. I did that with Fallout Shelter on my phone. It took me a while to realize I was going bingo with that mobile game years ago before it was very good. Okay, Fallout Shelter was always kind of good. Really brilliant little premise, and I'm a big fan of the Fallout games, so yeah. There's a thrill you get. There is an experience you have when you are in that gambling and everything is riding on that next card or that next roll of the dice or the spin of the wheel or the opening of the package. It's addictive. It's a rush. It's such a rush that crash when you lose is only an invitation to make the next rush bigger. I have elected that in my game design and production, I'm not going to use techniques like that. Not that I don't think they're effective, not that I don't understand them. I just don't like taking advantage of that particular mechanism that way. This is not to say that I do not take advantage of that particular psychological mechanism. In the victory system, formerly the inverted 20, there is a statistic called risk. You spend risk to alter probability. I failed this dice roll. Well, you could spend some risk and make another dice roll and maybe get it better. You can spend some risk and increase the chances that you're going to succeed. You can spend some risk and increase the damage that you do. You want to do something that the rules don't cover? Well, how much risk do you want to give me? When I'm running the victory system, I sell it. I sell risk like a pusher. And that is what makes the game as addictive to play as some people seem to think it is. Because you're not burning your money. You bought the book. You've given me all the money you want. Now I just want your excitement. Now I just want that moment of tension when you pick up the D20 and you're wondering if you're going to make it. And the bigger the chance you take, the more risk you might need to put into it. So, you don't have that much risk left. You're almost out of risk. But you really need to succeed on this. You want to give me just a little bit of that risk? Games that include a probability bending expendable resource, risk or fate points or force points, or luck points. It's all about the same thing. It is that You're already rolling dice. It's not a gambling experience. I almost got thrown out of a Steak and Shake once for rolling D20s, and the cops came over and said, "We don't want people to think you're gambling, so you got to stop that." It was Missouri. Different times. Happened at the Denny's, too. Weird. You're not gambling. You're engaging in a simulation and playing make-believe with rules. You are determining a probability that your character is going to succeed or fail, and determining whether that success or failure has happened by the generation of a random number on dice in many systems, not all of them. And succeed or fail, that's it. That's your roll. There's a bit of a risk there. There's a rush. There's a little bit of a... But what if you could ramp that up? What if you could sell something in-game to not guarantee success, but bump the odds up a little bit? The average player character in a victory system game has 70 risk when they start out. Seems like a lot. You can get up to like 130 without going to extreme measures. That's a pretty much the maximum, and that's if you max out a couple of stats and get the right merits. And people will start with 110, 120, and I've got lots of risk. I could spend risk all day long. This is no problem. It's my job to drive that character out. You can refill your risk in the middle of a game. It's risky. You might get injured in the attempt. You might knock yourself out of a fight refilling risk too often. But it's called risk, not certainty. Reroll. Oh my gosh, I had every chance to make that roll, and it was a great roll. I failed the roll. Well, burn 5 risk. You can re-roll that. Oh, sure. I have seen a lot of risk go to re-rolls. I've seen 50, 60, 70 risk just fly off the table. A dozen re-rolls. Someone who's got to roll a 17 or less on a D20. That's an 85% chance of success, and just not hitting it. Unable to roll under a 17 to save their lives, and the risk flows like water. Oh, I can't hurt this guy. I've done everything I can. He just keeps bouncing my attacks. You want to increase the chance you're going to increase your damage? Yeah, I'll burn that to increase my damage. There's 10 risk gone if you double your damage. I really need to make this roll. I don't want to have to re-roll it. I might have to re-roll it anyway. I'm going to burn 10 risk for a +3. I'm going to burn 10 risk for a +3 and 10 risk to double. So there's 20 gone. And if you blow that roll, it's another 25 to re-roll it in one turn. That's 45 risk gone. That's a rush. Watching that number slowly, or not so slowly, run down towards 0 where you got to do something stupid or chance taking damage to get it back. It makes a difference in how you feel about that character, about how the play. You get a little invested because that gets kicked in. I've burnt this much risk so far. I'm going to burn all this risk now, and then I'm going to get the success that I haven't been able to get the rest of the time. It's a lot less ruinous to go bingo when you're playing Victory, or any role-playing game, when you're burning an in-game imaginary currency. I like being able to engineer for that rush, and understanding my own addiction helps to design for it in some ways. I like starting with an experience that people should get when they play. I like when people jump up and fist pump and yell in the middle of the game. So much so that I designed a system that encourages it. It's even in the rules a couple of places. There are ethical ways to take advantage of that bit of wiring that makes us go bingo from time to time, where we want to engage in risk. We're chance takers. As a race, humans are chance takers. We We can play it safe, and we can calculate for playing it safe, but the bigger gains come from bigger risks, bigger chances. You take a leap. Succeed or fail, you took the leap. We have a reward system for that too. Fail, you might try and take a bigger leap just to make up for it. It is an interesting set of chemicals we generate at that point in time. And I still can't go to Vegas alone. This is not to say I can't go to Vegas. I know some really, really good restaurants. I know a couple of amazing bars. There are some shows I have seen. I've seen shows in Vegas that no longer exist that I wish I could take one or two people to just one more time. But I don't gamble. If I'm going to do any gambling, I will do it with a D20 over a character sheet and really, really hope I don't get the whole party killed in the process. But you know, that's the risk you take. Thank you for following me along in this particular ramble through my own foibles and design notes. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you have your own experiences with gambling and the process of going bingo, if you've seen it happen at your gaming table, if there's ways you'd like to encourage that, leave me a comment below. It's things you want to hear me talk about or different subjects you want me to cover, go ahead and leave me a comment. You'll love leaving me a comment. I'll love getting one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you do hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell next to it so that you get notified when the videos become available. If you'd like to help out in a slightly more personal way, I'd like you to encourage you to hit me up my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/DeCorum, and consider donating. Absolutely anything helps and allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is What Has Mattered to Me, and I will see you next time on the next Matters of DeCorum.